church family. I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July celebrating the freedom we enjoy as Americans, and perhaps we can look deeper into this as the freedom we enjoy in Jesus, that as we look into the sermon series of The Chosen in our third season that Pastor Nathan preached this week on we forgive because we have been forgiven. And there is freedom that can be found in the forgiveness that we receive, as well as in the act of forgiving. And so I just wanted to do a little bit of a object lesson for you and what it looks like to experience freedom in Jesus. And so a lot of times we have things happen to us, and this is like a little us. You see a smiley face. So we're happy, we're go-lucky, we're going through our day, and then we have things that happen to us that kind of put a damper into our spirits. And possibly somebody says something that's hurtful, somebody does something that makes us feel bad or that is difficult to process through. And so our little people get filled up with some negative emotions. And then maybe we think about something that happened a week ago or two, and you're still trying to get over some of the hurt that you experienced. And so we have a little bit of bitterness that builds up within us, and it becomes a little darker, that as we process through it, our soul and our insides get a little darker. And then maybe we think about something that happened in our past that really hurt us. Maybe we experienced some traumatic events or things that is really taking a toll on us. And so we keep that bottled up and keep it within us. And as we store more and more of these hurts into our bodies and into our spirits, we find that it becomes dark. What was once just one shade becomes this dark, dark thing that fills us. And so forgiveness and the freedom that we find in Jesus is really about what happens when we take this dark, yucky insides due to unforgiveness and bitterness, and we ask Jesus to help us. And so in Psalm 51, 10 through 12, it says, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me from your presence or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me." So a lot of times when we are angry and bitter and we hold a grudge and we're not forgiving, we don't have a willing spirit. We're holding on to something that is not of the Lord and is getting in the way of the Holy Spirit acting in us. So what happens when we ask Jesus and ask God through the Holy Spirit to come and help us? So the stuff that's filling us, this dark, yucky stuff, we ask the Holy Spirit to breathe new life in us. And this is kind of a fun illustration. And this balloon is our Holy Spirit. I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. Do you see that? It says Holy Spirit on there. And what happens when we ask the Lord to take what was said to us, take our hurts, take those things that really we're finding a hard time to forgive and a hard time, we can't do it on our own. But if we ask the Holy Spirit to take this yucky stuff out of us, and we allow the Holy Spirit to fill that space within us, we see that Jesus is able to take what was yucky and this place that was filled with darkness and filled with dark, yucky stuff, and fill it instead with His Spirit, with the Holy Spirit. So as the Holy Spirit is filling us, it's pushing out the yucky stuff of unforgiveness and bitterness and harshness, and we release it to Jesus. And look what happens as we release it to Jesus. What happens to that darkness? Jesus is taking it away, and slowly but surely we are able to find that the darkness gets pushed out of us, and we are able to experience a cleansing, a pure heart that renews our joy, renews the joy of our salvation, and restores to us a new spirit. So allow Jesus and the Holy Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, to work in you, that as we release this darkness and release the bitterness that comes from an unforgiving heart, we're able to once again have a happy face, and in that experience cleansing of darkness through Jesus. So I hope that this little illustration, see, it's clear now. Wow. Jesus has the power to take the darkness and make it into light. So I hope you're able to see from this illustration that as we harbor things inside, it doesn't leave room for the Holy Spirit. But if we allow the Holy Spirit to push through and push it out of us and release it to Jesus, he is able to cleanse the bitterness and cleanse it and make it fresh again. So remember Psalm 51, 10 through 12, and make that your prayer this week. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me from your presence or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. God bless. Have a great week. May the power of Jesus be evident in your life, that as you cast and give away the things that have been held on and the bitterness, that you would experience a freshness and a newness in him.